Every year in Belchertown, some of the most important discussions about our schools, our roads, and our community's future are made not in a distant legislature, but right here by us, the voters at town meeting. But how do these issues get on the agenda in the first place? Who decides what gets discussed? And how can an ordinary citizen bring an idea before the whole town? Today on the show, I'm joined by Ed Camo, Vice Chair of our Communications Committee. He recently wrote an article on our town website that takes us inside how these articles shape our town government and how you can have a say in what comes next. Hey, Ed, thanks for joining us.
No, glad to be here. I appreciate the opportunity. A few months ago, I had a chance to sit down with Steve Williams and Terry Camerlin, the town clerk, to educate people on what is a warrant article and what's its role in the town meeting.
So what exactly is a warrant article and how does it come to be?
In Belchertown, the town meeting serves as the legislative body where voters approve budgets, bylaws, and various town initiatives. The agenda for these meetings is set through a document called the Warrant, which contains all the articles that might be up for discussion and vote. Now, there are two types of town meetings. One is an annual town meeting that we're required to hold on the second Monday in May, and the other is a special town meeting that can be called any time throughout the year as needed. The biggest thing about town meeting is it's a great way for everybody to be engaged and involved in their local government, and it's a chance for anybody and everybody to speak during town meeting.
So what type of articles typically will appear on the warrant?
Okay, well, warrant articles can cover a real broad range of town business, including like budget items for department funding, capital purchases, employee benefits. If they're doing equipment leases, over 3 years requires town meeting approval, road acceptances, and infrastructure projects. Those are some of the big ones. Bylaw changes, amendments to existing regulations or new proposals. And Community Preservation Act projects, all of these have to be reviewed by the Community Preservation Committee, but also have to be voted on at town meeting by the public. And another important one is what they call citizens' petitions. These are warrant articles that can be submitted by the citizens on any sort of special issue that the citizens might want to bring before the town meeting.
Okay, so let's talk about citizen petitions. What are they and how does someone submit one?
So if someone wants to submit a citizen petition to become a warrant article, the first step is to go to the town clerk's office and get a citizen petition form. And the town clerk is really the key person in this. Terry can really guide you in terms of what the whole process is. But you're responsible for writing up the whole text of the proposed warrant article and obtaining signatures of registered Belchertown voters. Now, for an annual town meeting, you need 10 certified signatures. But for a special town meeting, it's 100 certified signatures. Now, this petition is submitted to the select board, who then forwards it to the town clerk for certification. Board of registrars will certify the signatures, and then the citizen petition will be forwarded to the select board to be placed on the town meeting warrant. Again, that may sound really complicated, and that's where the town clerk can really help you in this whole process. One thing that's important to keep in mind about a citizen's petition versus a regular warrant article is a citizen petition is the person submitting it is totally responsible for writing the text. The clerk can't advise them on it, so that it's not going to go to town council for review or anything like that. So if you write a warrant article that is incorrect in some way or is missing something or has some bad language in it, that's on you. So you have to really make sure that what you submit is what you want to be voted on, and it can be voted on clearly. Regular warrant articles through the town are reviewed by town council to make sure that they are accurately worded. So any citizen submitting a petition, I really encourage them to make sure that they are worded correctly so they don't fail at vote for some technical reason.
Is there a deadline for submitting warrant articles or citizen petitions?
There is a specific deadline that is raised. It's for 2025 when we're recording this. Those deadlines have already passed. But the select board says in their public meeting, these are the deadlines for submission of warrant articles. So it's well publicized in advance. Now, One thing I do encourage you that if you are doing a citizen's petition, for example, you need to leave enough time before those deadlines to collect the signatures, get them certified, and then get before the select board for approval. All of this takes time, so keep that in mind. And again, the town clerk is your key person in this to help guide you as to when those deadlines are and how far in advance you should start this process. It's not something you can start at the last minute. If anybody is really interested in learning more about the warrant articles, they are always posted online before the annual town meeting. I think it's about 2 weeks maybe before the town meeting that they have to be posted on the website. But in any case, they are there in advance for you to look at. You also get a copy when you go to town meeting. But I really encourage everybody to take a look at them in advance so you can ask yourselves questions, ask questions of other people about what you're going to be voting on so you can vote in an informed way.
So at town meeting, what's the town meeting process? What are the voting procedures?
Okay, this has changed in the past few years and for the better, in my opinion. Town meeting used to be you'd go in there, each warrant article would be presented with information on it, and then people would have to take a vote, generally by hand, raising their hand or not. What has happened in the past few years, we've gone electronic, where we use what they call clickers, where as you enter town meeting, you have to sign in. You have to be a resident of Belchertown, and then you're given a clicker, where when it's time to vote, you can just use the clicker to vote yes or no on any particular article. It goes to a computer, which tallies the results in real time up on the screen. It has really streamlined the process, made it much faster. They used to have people who would have to go through the crowd actually counting by hand and writing it down on a piece of paper. Now it's all electronic, which really helps significantly.
So final thoughts on town meeting. Why is town meeting important?
As Aaron Sorkin famously said, decisions are made by those that show up. And this is your chance to show your feelings on which way a particular issue should go. Town meetings are long. There's no two ways about that. But they really are important in terms of determining the course of direction in the town. When the warrant articles come up for discussion, some of them go through very quickly. Some of them engender a lot of conversation and discussion. And it's your chance to help make that decision.
Well, thank you, Ed. You can read Ed's full article on belchertown.org. This year's town meeting will take place on May 31st at 8:30 a.m. in the Belchertown High School Gymnasium. This episode was produced by Esther Glavacki with special thanks to Ed Camo, Steve Williams, and Terry Chamberlain. Music for this episode was provided by Blue Dot Sessions.